Yeah. So what we are discussing today, guys? We are discussing about the basic Linux commands over, right? Cat, the text processing tools, copy, move, rm, the basic commands done, right? Today we will discuss about the Linux user administration. What is that, guys? User administration. User administration. Okay. One second. I need to open the. So user administration. User administration is so how many users, how many types of users are there, guys? We have a guys, how many types of users? Yeah, 1 second, guys. Okay, so user administration. So user administration, how many users we can create? How many types of users are there in the Linux machine, guys? Guys, how many types of users?
Two types:
What are those?
root user
Hmm.
and normal user.
Root user is nothing but a root user is nothing but a guys. Tell me root user. Two types of users. One is admin user and so admin user is nothing but a super user. Administrator user is nothing but a super user. Who is the super user, guys? Root is the super user. So root is the super user. The second one is admin and non-admin. Non-admin is nothing but a normal users. Normal users. So who are the normal users, guys? Something like Hari, Ramakrishna, Ravi, Uday, Kiran, Hassan. These all are the these all are the these all are the normal users. So normal users will execute only which commands, guys? Only bin commands. What is commands? So we'll execute only bin commands. A root user can execute both bin and very good. So bin and has been commands. Okay. Has been commands. So normal user having some certain limit of permissions. Normal users having some certain limit of permissions. So how many users we can create? We can create. So for example, you install the say any Linux OS, any Linux OS. So we can create 60,000 users. 60,000 users on the Linux OS. For example, CentOS 7. So how many users we can connect? We can create 60,000 users. So how many users we can connect at a time? Server 60,000 users we can connect at a time. So that is nothing but a server. Something like 0 to 999 is related to something like so 0. So 0. So this is nothing but a the 60,000 users, right? The 60,000 UID and GID. What is UID, guys? UID is nothing but a user ID. UID is nothing but a user ID, and GID is nothing but a group ID. What is the thing about group ID? So UID, group ID. So we can create a 60,000 UIDs and 60,000 group IDs. Zero ID, root user ID is root user UID. UID means user ID. User ID is 0. What is that, guys? Your root user UID is 0. The system related users. What is that, guys? System related users. So system related users will use the 0 to 999. So 0 to triple will use 0 to 999. The normal users UID starts from normal users UID from starts from 1000 onwards. 1000 onwards. Something like Hari user is created. Hari user is created. So so which UID is assigned to Hari user? So the UID of the Hari user is 1000. What is the UID of the user? Hari. Something like Ravi. So what is the next UID, guys? 1001 UID. Um, Something like Uday. Uday having a 1002 and so on. 1003 for another user, 1004 for another user, up to 1000. How many users, guys? 60,000 UIDs we can create it. So we can create it. Guys, understood? Mm, One second. So how many users? 60,000 we can create it. One second, guys. I uploaded somewhere else. Day 1, day 2, day 5. Linux file system hierarchy. Day 6. Sorry. Day 7. Day 7. What is that, guys? File handling tools, text processing tools. I think day 8. Yeah, user administration. Yep, guys, user administration. All users UID, JID starts from by 1000 by default. What is this, guys? All users UID, all users UID and JID starts from 1000 by defaults. Okay. So So user administration, all users UID, JID starts from by the 1000 by default. UID, GIDs are 60,000. 0 to 999 system itself uses. 0 is the root UID. Okay, 1000 to 60,000 all the general uses. All the general users. For a user account, primary group is mandatory. What is that? For every user account, primary group is mandatory. If you have not assigned it to any group, user himself behaves as a group. User himself behaves as a group, right? I will show you. Oracle VirtualBox. Start. I know the IP address, right? I will connect this server. Something like this server is in remote location. For example, in the data center. So how you can connect this server? You can connect this server, a remote server by using putty. How you can connect this server? You can connect this server by using putty. So this server is in the remote location. How we can connect the servers from the remote location? You can use the putty is the third party tool to connect the server. Okay. Yeah. 192.168.56.112. So appearance change bold 18, 16, 18. Okay. Okay. So what is the username, guys? I'm connecting through root Red Hat. Okay. So Red Hat is the, so what is the ID of the root? So what is the ID? ID root is nothing but a UID. UID is nothing but a root ID. Zero. GID is nothing but a group ID. Group, what is the group, guys? Root. Because of, because of, for a user account, primary group is mandatory. For as an account, so this primary group is mandatory. This is the secondary group. So primary group is mandatory. So group is mandatory. If you not assigned any group, user himself behaves as a group. User behaves as a group. So something like, so where is the group, the files, the group files are created. So create a group, system group. How you can create the system group? Group add. To create a system group for a user, it may be a primary group or a secondary group. And all the groups information will be available under the /etc group. /etc group. So let's check the information about the groups. /etc. What is the file, guys? /etc group is the file. All the groups information available in this file. What is that? Root is 0. So root, if you are not assigning any primary group to the root, right? Root himself behaves as a group. So root also himself behaves as a root. Yeah. So if you are not assigning to Hari, already created, Hari is not assigned to any group. So Hari himself behaves as a group. Okay. You say normal UID JID starts from 1000 onwards. UID JID starts from 1000 onwards. Is understood? The password, the database file for the where is the database file? /etc group is the database file for the group information will be available in the /etc group. Okay. So what is the command to add the group? Group add group name. Group add small g group ID group name. Right. So if you want to provide, so by default, so it will assign 1000, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004 and so on. Right. I want to give a specific GID. I want to give a specific GID group and Linux engineer. Okay. Let's see. Cat /etc group. I want to search the only Linux engineer is created or not. Linux engineer. It's HS, right? So Linux engineer group is created. What is the GID of the group, guys? Group ID is 1001. I already told you, right? 1000, 1001, 1002, 1003. I want to give a separate GID for a group. So you can provide the group add. Group add. Hyphen G. I'm giving a fancy number, something like a 10102 DevOps. What is that, guys? DevOps. Cat slash etc group. Yeah. So DevOps group is created. 1010. Linux engineer created 1001. 1001. We need to create a something like a 1003, but you provided the separate GID. If you want to give a separate GID, you can give the hyphen G GID. What is the command, guys? Hyphen G. We can give this. We can give this, guys. Understood? Yeah. Group add group name. So if you are not providing a specific group ID, it will take the by default 1000, 1001, 1002, 1003 and so on. If you want to specify a particular group ID, you can use the hyphen G group name. So group HR, group add hyphen G 10,000 Nagios. So Nagios will create a 10,000, HR will create a 1001, 1002. Like so fields in the slash etc group. What are the fields in the slash etc group? So right, these are the fields. What these fields are. So first is group name. What is that, guys? What is the group name? Group name is, yeah. So what is this? So this is the group name. What this is, guys? This is a group name. First is the group name. The second one is the, so GID, and X is nothing but a password. So if any secondary groups are there, nothing is there. Nothing. So nothing is there, right? This is nothing but a group name, GID, so password for the group and secondary groups. Okay, the fields. Next, if you want to create a new user, you can use the user add. Guys, tell me. So if I create a Hari user or Ravi user, so the normal users home directory will create under which directory, guys? The normal users will created under the which directory? What is the home directory for the root user, guys? What is the home directory for the root user? What is the home directory for the root user? Guys, tell me. If we create a normal user, the home directory will create under which directory? Guys, tell me. So I logged in as a root user. Okay. So the root user's home directory is, guys, root user's home directory is Ramakrishna, do you know? The Linux file system hierarchy. If you know the Linux file system hierarchy, it will be very easy, guys. Linux is very easy. So the root user's home directory is slash bin contains commands. Sbin contains commands. Okay. What is the home directory for the root? Huh? Very good. What is that? Slash root is the home directory for the root user. So what is that? Slash root. So what is the home directory for the Ravi user? Very good. Slash home slash Ravi slash home slash Hari slash home slash BLUJAY slash home slash Kiran. Okay. These are the home directories created if you create as a normal user. What is how you can create the normal user? user add user name. So what is the syntax, guys? Syntax is user add username. What is the syntax, guys? Syntax is user add username. Example, guys. What is the example? Example, guys. User add, for example, Kiran. So Kiran user will be created, and home directory for the Kiran is /home Kiran. What is that, guys? /home Kiran is the home directory for the Kiran user. Home directory for the Kiran user. Home directory for the Kiran user. Guys, understood? User add Kiran /home Kiran. Home directory for the Kiran user. Home directory for the Kiran user. Okay. Yeah. So user add to create a new user account. What is the command, guys? User add is nothing but to create a new user account. User add options username. What are the options? User add options username. So what does the user add? So what are the options, guys? Options is nothing but a UID. You already specified a specific group ID, right? The same like as you need to provide a specific UID, you can use the -u. -u is nothing but a UID. If you want to provide a specific UID, you can use the /UID. Okay. -g is nothing but a primary group. A user having one primary group and multiple secondary groups. A user contains a one primary group and multiple secondary groups. -G is nothing but a secondary group. For example, for example, so this is the user, guys. Who is this user? User is Hari user or BLUJAY user. Okay, BLUJAY is the user. A BLUJAY having contains contains. A normal user contains one primary group and many secondary many secondary many secondary groups. For example, primary group is BLUJAY is primary group related to DevOps. Is primary group is DevOps. DevOps is into Linux engineer group as well as cloud engineer group. So the secondary groups are Linux engineer group and cloud engineer group. So his primary group is DevOps and his secondary group is Linux engineer and cloud engineer. So a user must and should contain one primary group and many number of secondary groups. Guys, understood? Yeah. So BLUJAY, so DevOps, this is a GID. What is that? Group. So this is the group ID, group name and group ID. So this is also a group ID. So this is related to primary group. Primary group is nothing but a small g. So secondary group is nothing but a capital G. If your user want to add a secondary group, we need to use the capital G is the. So if you want to add a secondary group, so if you want to add a primary group, you can use the small g. You can use the small g. Guys, understood? So small g is nothing but a primary group. Capital G is nothing but a secondary group. So we can assign only one primary group and many number of secondary groups. Many number of secondary group. Why we need a group, guys? Why we need a group? So BLUJAY So DevOps group, right? DevOps groups contain something like Kiran, Uday, Hari. So something like Linux engineer group contains Ravi, Ramakrishna. A cloud engineer contains Hassan, Hafiza, Mahalakshmi. These all are the cloud engineer group. So if you assign to the DevOps group, whatever the permissions provided for the DevOps, BlueJay will be having that permission. So the same like as whatever the Linux permissions, whatever the cloud permissions, it will assign it to the BlueJay user. BlueJay user. Guys, understood? Yeah. So what is hyphen D? Hyphen D is nothing but a home directory. Hyphen C is nothing but a comment. S is nothing but a shell. This is nothing but a shell prompt, guys. So whenever you create a user, the user details are going to store under the /etc password. Whenever you create a user, the user details are going to store under the /etc password. Guys, where the user details are stored? The user details are stored under the /etc passwd /etc passwd. The group details are going to store under the which directory, guys? Store under the /etc group. That group information will be available under the /etc group. The user information will be available under the /etc passwd. What is that, guys? /etc passwd. The user information will be available. Cat /etc passwd. Yeah, guys. These all are the users created in the this Linux mission. So Hari user is created SSHD, Cronny, SSHD, dbus, systemd, nobody, FTP, games, operator, mail, halt, shutdown, shink, LP, ADM, daemon, bin, root. These all are the users created. These all are the users created. Okay. Guys, understood?
So yeah. So quick thing, it is
Ah,
showing passwd. So it usually contains the password information also.
no, 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 no. So that is the confusion, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the password information will be stored under the /etc shadow. You see? So the user's password are going to store under the /etc shadow.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Hassan. Those are the user's
Thank you.
information will be available under the /etc passwd. The group information will be available under the /etc group. Okay,
Got it.
got it.
Thank you.
This is a file. This is not a command. Okay, this is just a file. This is not a command. Okay, there is a command in the sbin or bin, guys. cd/bin ls passwd. What is that command, guys? Passwd. Passwd is the root sbin command, I think. Passwd. cd /sbin. Passwd. Parted, part pro, part x, part pass, PV scan. LVM. One second. Yeah, you see, guys. So passwd, this is the command, and cd/etc. Passwd. This is the file. This is a file. What this is, guys? This is a ll pipe grep -i passwd. Right? This is a file cd/bin ll passwd pipe grep hyphen I. This is also file, but it is a it's a command. Pass. Yeah, you see guys. So this is a command. This is a passwd is the command. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Whenever you create a user, the user details are going to store under the /etc password, the database file, and the user's passwords are going to store under the /etc shadow database file. So what is the database file for the user's information? What is the database file for the password information? What is the database file for the group information? The group information will be available under the /etc group. Hassan, the group information will be available under the /etc group. The password, the user's information will be available under the /etc passwd.
Password. Passwd. Yep.
Passwd. The password information will be available under the /etc shadow.
Hello.
Shadow file contains the password information.
That
Passwd
is
file
database
contains
file.
the password database file. The user information will be available under the passwd file, and the group information will be available under the /group group file /etc group file. The password information will be available under the /etc shadow file. The user information will be available under the /etc shadow passwd file. Passwd is for user information. Group is group information. Shadow is nothing but a password information. Guys, understood? Hassan?
Correct.
Got it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what is a shell? We already discussed. We already discussed when we show it on the Linux file system hierarchy. So hardware, kernel, then so kernel will interact to the shell, right? So which shell we are using in the Linux? Bash shell. What is a shell? It is used to interact with the system. It is used to interact with the system to know how many shells are available. So to know how many shells are available, so you can see cat/etc shell. What is that? Cat/etc shell. What are the shells? Bin sh, bin bash, user bin sh, user bin bash. These are the shells available in this Linux machine. Okay. Yeah. Cat/etc shell and bin bash is the default shell for the Linux and Unix OSs. What is the default shell, guys? Default shell is a bin bash. Default shell is a bin bash is the default shell for the all the Linux and Unix OSs. Sbin no login. This is also a shell. So if you user having a sbin no login, sbin no login is a special shell which gives no interaction with the system. If you want to give the interaction with the system, definitely we need to provide the bin bash. If you provide the sbin no login, this is a special cell which give no interaction with the system. Generally, all the service user accounts are assigned with no login shells. What is that, guys? All the system related users. Bin is system related user. It having the sbin no login. Daemon has been no login. ADM has been no login. LP sync shutdown has been no login. Alt a mail has been no login. Operator has been no login. Games FTP all the system related users will be has been no login. Has been no login means there is no interaction between this all. Okay. The user hurry, something like hurry is nothing but a bin bash. We have a user interaction. Let's check. User add, user hyphen yes bin no login, has been no login. What is the user, guys? User is Hassan, for example. I created a Hassan user. Passwd is the command to reset the password. Yes, an Hassan. Red hat is the password. Red hat is the password. Okay. Cat/etc passwd pipe grep. What is that, guys? Hyphen I Hassan. Hassan user is created. So UID is 1001 and GID is 1011 and home directory is /home Hassan and the has been no login. Has been no login. So I am trying to log in as a Hari user. I'm trying to log in as a root user. Sorry, I'm trying to log in as a Hari user. Hari user having the bin bash, right? Login as a Hari. Password is Red Hat. Password is strong on Red Hat. Yeah, I'm able to access because of I have the bin bash. So that's the reason I'm able to access the server. I'm able to interact with the server because of this is a bash, right? If you have the bash, then only you can interact with the bash. Then only you can interact with the bash. So we provided for a Hassan. So something like a has been no login. So unable to log in. User is a Hassan. Password is Red Hat. So I am unable to interact with the shell because of you have a has been no login. Hari is having a bin bash. Hassan is having a has been no login. Has been no login. I want to edit the user. User mod -s bin bash and Hassan. What is the user, guys? Hassan user. I want to modify the user. I want to modify the shell prompt from yes bin no login to bin bash. Okay. Now check the yeah. So it's modified from the bin bash. Now let's try to interact with the Hassan. Hassan Red Hat. Now able to access, right? Because of Hassan having the bin bash access. If Hassan having the S bin no login, there is no interaction. There is no interaction. As understood, S bin no login is a special shell which gives a no interaction with the system. So generally, all the service user accounts are assigned with the no login shells. No login shells. As understood, to see the users, which it will list with the login shells. Echo shell to know the working shell. Which shell, guys, you are working with? We are working with? No. Grep.
So, can you explain again? No login shell means these users will not need to log in, but if they have to run any process without logging
Yeah.
in, they
Yes.
will be
Yes.
able to
Yes.
do that,
Yes.
right?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay,
That is the correct
just
point.
making sure.
Understood?
Mhm.
Yep. Very good. So echo shell is nothing but a which shell you are using. You already know, right, guys? Linux is Linux which shell, guys? Bash. Born again shell. Linux uses the bash shell. Okay. So to assign a password for the user account, how you can assign the password? What is the command? Passwd username. We already shown, right? So So how many users we can connect at a time? 60,000 users, guys. How many users we can connect at a time? 60,000 users we can connect at a time. Okay. Yeah. So user passwd. If you want to assign a password for a user account, what is the command, guys? Passwd username. So passwd options and username. Options and username. Hassan, I think you know. So how many days in Windows you provided the group policy for the Active Directory user accounts, right? So how many days they will ask the password reset?
We usually go for 180 days now.
180 days, right?
Yes. After 6 months, usually password usually changes. We have to change the password.
Yeah, yes, yes, yes. Okay, password options username. So something like in the real time, so there must be a reset the password or change the password after 90 days or 180 days. So how real time works, guys? The real time, the real time, the password. What is the password? The user password. The user password will the password will ask to change change after every 100 days or 180 days, right? Hassan, so in our account, something like 180 days, mine also I think 180 days or 120 days. So it depends or it varies from company to company. Okay. So passwd username, password, options, username. So -L is nothing but a log the password. So in the real time, if you are providing if you are providing a wrong password, provide a wrong password 3 times, it will log log the user account, log the password or user account, right? So I want to unlock the password. How you can unlock the password? Need to raise a ticket to the administrators and ask to unlock the password. Okay, guys, this is the read time. And delete the password and passwordless login. Some users need some programmatic action. Programmatic access needs a without password. Without password, then we will delete the password. Delete the password or passwordless login. Or hyphen s is nothing but a status of the password. It is locked or unlocked or deleted. All right. Now we understood the options, password options. So how you can create the user? You can create the by using user add. Okay. How you can so user add user one is nothing but it will create the user add -u user two. It will create the UID of the user two. User add -g HR user three. User three is assigned as a primary group as a HR. Right. So user add capital G HR user 4. The secondary group as a HR. So user add small g HR capital G finance user 5. User 5 is so related to the primary group is HR, secondary group is finance. So user add -s has been no login user 6. User is 6 is unable to access the user 6 because of we provided a has been no login. User add -c. C is nothing but a comment FTP user. Who is this user? This user is a FTP user -s. We are providing a has been no login for the user 7. Guys, now we understood how you can create the user, how you can modify, you can add user add. This is so fields in the /etc password. In the /etc password contains a user information. So what is that, guys? First is instructor, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. So they have the seven fields in the each so the password something like a squid. So this is the what is that username. It is used when user logins. Second is nothing but a password. An X character indicates the encrypted password is stored under the /etc shadow. So 3 is nothing but a user ID. 4 is nothing but a group ID. So 5 is nothing but a user info, the comment field. It allows you to add extra information about the user such as user so full name, phone number, etc. So what is the 6.1? 6.1 is nothing but a user home directory. So home directory. S is nothing but a shell prompt. Shells is nothing but a shell prompt. Guys, we understood? So what are the fields and the purpose of the fields? There are the 7 fields in the /etc part for the user. One is username, second one is password, third one is user ID, fourth one is group ID, UI is user ID, home directory shell prompt. Guys, understood? Yeah, fields in the /etc shadow. What are the fields? This is the instructor and the password and the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 fields are there. So what are those? First is a username. This is the username. It is your login name. Second one is the password. What is this? This is a password, encrypted password. Your encrypted password. Last password change. What is it? 3 is nothing but a last word password change. So 4 is nothing but a the minimum number of days required between the password changes. The maximum number of days password change is valid. Warning, the number of days before password to expire. That user warned that his password must be changed. I already told you, right, guys? Every 180 days we need to change the password. 180 days or 90 days. So before from 7 days, we have a it will complete after 7 days. So from before 7 days onwards, so something like what they will show, they will give the warning, your password will be expiring within 7 days. After sixth day, something like we have a 6 days, then sixth day your password will be expiring in the 6 days, your password will be expiring in the 5 days, your password will be expiring in the 3 days, 4 days, your password will be expiring in the 3 days, your password will be expiring in the 2 days, your password will be expiring in the one day, your password will be expired. So then you can ask to the reset the password in the admin team, right? Admin team. So it will go to the inactive and expire. It will go to the inactive. The number of days after password expires that cannot the account is disabled. Expire is nothing but a day since Jan 1st, 1970 that account is disabled. It's an absolute date specifying when the login may not longer. Okay. So this is the password information. Next, user mod. User mod is nothing but to modify user account properties without deleting the user account. We already modified, right? Has been login to bin bash. That is the user mod. User mod options, username, user UID, group, primary group ID, secondary group ID, shell, comment, dom directory, login name. Okay, add a user to the multiple secondary groups. So you can, if you want to add multiple secondary groups, you can add it. Okay, to remove a user from the secondary group, so G passwd -d username group name. So G passwd, so -d username passwd. We want to remove the secondary group. So how you can delete the user account? User del. To delete the user account, user del is the command. User add, user mod, user del. User add is nothing but a creation. User mod is nothing but a modification. User del is nothing but a delete the user. User del options, username. So what are the options, guys? Option is nothing but a -r, -f. -r is nothing but a recursively delete everything. Recursively delete everything. -f is nothing to delete forcefully ever if the account is logged in. Ever if the account is logged in. User del user1 removes the user account but won't delete his data. Data is nothing but a, for example, user del Hassan. Hassan user is created, deleted the Hassan account, but home directory for the Hassan will not delete. Will not delete. So if you want to delete his home directory also, you can use the command user del Hassan. User del -rf. RF means recursively and forcefully delete it. Who is Hassan? Okay, it will remove the user account as well as users home directory. Users home directory also. Users home directory also. Guys, understood? Yeah, the default user administration options are available in /etc login.devs /etc defaults -user add. So when we are creating a user account, /etc password is the users db file, /etc shadow is the password file, /etc group is the group information are going to update. Home directory creates under the /user username. User mailbox creates under the var spool mail username. Okay, ID username is nothing but a with this you will get the user along with the group's information. Finger username, it gives the user information only. Change command, what is that? Change user password expiry information. The change command changes the number of days between password changes and the date of the last password change. This information is used by the system to determine when the user must change his or password. Okay. The chase options username. Chase options are -d is nothing but a set the last date change. Set the account expiration date. Set the password inactive after expiration. L is nothing but a show the account again information. Set maximum number of days before password change. Set maximum number of days password before change. Set a minimum, maximum, set expiration, warning days. Okay. So what is the command? Chase -l Hari, for example, or Hassan. Yeah. So the password information, last password change, November 26, 2024, password expires never, password inactive never, account expires never, number of days 0, password change minimum between expiration 7. This is the default one. If you want to change anything, you can change it. If you want to change anything, you can change it. For example, copy, paste, Hassan. You see, so the minimum days is never, maximum days is 0, right? So maximum days is 16, warning is 5, right? We change it to save, inactive is 5 days. Chase -l is nothing but a list. So before it is November 16, yeah. So the password will expire in 90 days, right? 60 days, January 25th. The account expires on never, password inactive on 35 days. So maximum days between password change 3, maximum number of password change 60. So warning 5 days. Guys, understood? So this is nothing but a user administration, guys. This is nothing but a user administration. Guys, understood? User administration is very easy, guys. Very easy. Is it difficult or easy, guys? Guys, I will provide this, but meanwhile, I will paste it in the channel.
Honestly, it is new.
Mhm.
Like these kind of things I do, but in the
Mm.
GUI environment, in the Windows environment.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like now, have to go back to the command
Yes.
stuff.
It will be
So that's fine.
very easy, nothing to worry about it. If you know the information, where the password information will be available, where the user information will be available, where the group information is available. If you know that path, right, it will be very easy. What is that?
Yes,
Only four commands. Only four commands,
for
five
command.
commands. Group add, user mod, user del, passwd, and chase.
Got it.
Got it right? Only five commands in the user administration. What is that? Group add to create a group. User add to create a user. User mod to modify the user. User del to delete the user. Password change. Password set. So you can use the set the password by using passwd command. Chase. We need to change the information about the password. Minimum number, maximum number, inactive, expire, never expire. You can use the chase. There's only six commands. Only six commands in the user administration. So how many users we can create? 60,000 users. So by default, so 0 is the root user UID is 0 and group use the 999 is for system itself uses 1000 to 60,000 all general users. Okay, understood, guys? So we'll continue from tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hassan, I will call you in a minute. Okay, do you have a minute?
Sure, sure, sure. Yes.
Yep, thank you.